No, he's on his tablet. What?
Plastic surgery is a controversial topic. When done minimal.
Okay. For a big bit? Oh.
And tastefully, it can often enhance someone's look. However, it's sometimes really hard to draw the line regarding when someone has gone too far and can no longer look natural. In this video, we'll show you 10 people who spent major cash on some major plastic. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button just in case you're inspired to get plastic surgery on your hand and need to heal after our video. Hitting the notification button should also make your recovery feel faster. Pixie Fox. Most people would consider being called a cartoon character an insult, but for Pixie Fox, that's exactly the look she's going for. In order to get an enviable thin waist like Jessica Rabbit, Pixie had 6 of her ribs removed. While she may like how this looks, she also admits that her organs are now much more vulnerable since she removed their protective casing. She also changed the color of her eyes from blue to bright green through a rare surgical procedure usually reserved for non-cosmetic reasons. If colored contacts just won't cut it, you can cut your eyes instead and have intraocular implants inserted into your eyes. In total, Pixie has had over 18 surgeries. She claims that she adores beauty and sees herself as a canvas upon which she loves experimenting. And sometimes it takes a lot of experimenting to get that art to look just right, considering that she's had rhinoplasty 4 times. She's had her brows lifted and sculpted, and fillers injected into her cheeks and lips. Even her eyelids haven't been able to escape the surgeon's scalpel, as she has reportedly undergone a blepharoplasty. According to Pixie, she is just warming up and is looking forward to more surgeries in the future. Chloe Latanzi. Having a wealthy and famous parent and being able to afford hundreds of thousands of dollars of plastic surgery isn't always a good thing. Just ask Olivia Newton-John's daughter, Chloe Latanzi. Reportedly, she has spent $5,500,000 on plastic surgery, starting when she was just a teenager. What started out with lip injections moved on to breast augmentations when she was just 18. In addition to subsequent surgeries, she began injecting her face with all sorts of fillers. For years, it seems like there was no limit to what Chloe would do to her face in pursuit of perfection. As her face was perpetually pumped full of plastic, her mother worried for her daughter's health and sanity. Now at the age of 31, Chloe admits that her obsession with beauty had become a disaster. For a long time, she struggled with body image and an eating disorder, but now has removed many of her facial implants to embrace a more natural look. There were rumors that she had a rib removed to look thinner, but Chloe dismissed those as ridiculous and insists that her small size is due to exercise and wearing a waist trainer. Finally, at the age of 31, she claims that she finally loves her body. Rodrigo Alves. If you thought it was only women who were lining up to go under the knife, think again. Rodrigo Alves is better known as the human Ken doll, and one look at him will tell you why. He's gone through 57 surgeries and already has his 58th booked. He's scheduled to undergo Pixie Fox's eye color changing surgery. His pathway to plastic began when he was just a teenager, and so far he has spent over $500,000 on various surgeries. However, the value of the surgeries he's received likely far exceeds that, as he claims that he gets discounts from doctors eager to show off their work. Because of his unique look, he's spent years in the public eye and dreams of having his own talk show. He wants to discuss current beauty trends and challenge societal beauty norms and taboos. Alves has appeared on many talk shows over the years, and while he loves being a guest, he can't wait until he's the one asking the questions. Despite his many surgeries, he claims that he's not addicted. He's thrilled that the work he's done has caused him to become both happy and famous. Blondie Bennett. As far as Blondie Bennett is concerned, plastic surgery, even a massive quantity of it, isn't enough to qualify you as a human Barbie doll. However, that doesn't mean that she's skimped on her plastic surgeries. Far from it. She's had implants in her chest and cheeks, had fillers put in her face, she's even had liposuction on her chin, which we didn't know was a thing. As far as how she affords her surgeries, her fans are more than happy to subsidize her transformation. We guess that Blondie isn't interested in appearing as one of the many employed versions of Barbie. What sets Blondie apart from other people who want to resemble Barbie is that she does more than look the part. She gets weekly hypnotherapy sessions that she hopes will slow down her brain and make her less intelligent. Blondie claims that it's already working, and she feels more ditzy during her day-to-day life. For most of us, going through life easily confused would be a detriment, but for Blondie the human Barbie, it's part of her chosen lifestyle. Why does she want to be Barbie so badly? She claims that Barbie has the best life, and that all she does is shop and make herself look pretty. Justin Judlicka. Another version of the human Ken doll is Justin Judlicka, who has undergone over 190 different cosmetic procedures. Where do we even begin listing some of these? Well, of course, he's had his nose done, and he's had implants put in his chest, shoulder, biceps, pectorals, thighs, calves, and triceps. He's had his cheeks done, his brows shaved and lifted, and had augmented his lips and his butt. Unselfishly, he is also helping other people with plastic surgery as well, and assisted in the creation of the first ever thigh implant marketed towards women. Don't worry about dropping your phone in the toilet anymore, ladies. Just get a couple of thigh implants. Justin claims that he loves pushing the limits of his body, and even had a six-pack of abs surgically created instead of spending hours at the gym. He got started on his plastic surgery journey at the age of 17, when he got his first nose job after being inspired by watching lifestyles of the rich and famous. Like many others, he saw plastic surgery as signifying wealth, power, and glamour, and wanted some of that for himself. Sarah Burgess. While many of the people on our list got their first surgery as a teen, Sarah Burgess had hers at the young age of 7. It began with surgery to make her ear lay flatter against her head, and today she's had over 100 surgeries with no end in sight. After receiving many surgeries, she was the victim of domestic violence, which left her face disfigured. Although she felt like giving up, she kept going and eventually opened her own cosmetic surgery consultation business. She visited top plastic surgeons and offered them a deal. If they could improve her appearance, she would recommend all of her clients to them. As a result, she hasn't had to pay a penny for her surgery since opening her business. Sarah claims that since her job is recommending plastic surgery to people, she is just testing out the products before her clients book their appointment. It's estimated that she has had $3 million worth of surgery, completely free. And it looks like her daughter Poppy may well be following in her footsteps, as her mother has been gifting her with plastic surgery vouchers since she turned 7, including those for breast enhancements and liposuction. Poppy thankfully won't be able to redeem them until she's at least 18 years old, though. Fulvia Pellegrino. It's not uncommon for trans men or trans women to undergo surgery during their transition period. However, that doesn't mean that some of them don't go a bit overboard in their pursuit of perfection, just like cisgendered people do. 56-year-old Italian woman Fulvia Pellegrino claims that she won't stop until she looks absolutely perfect. She's been getting plastic surgery for over a decade and has undergone more than 150 procedures, including cheekbone fillers, implants, liposuction, and lifts. Fulvia has spent over $87,000 on her surgery so far and shows no sign of stopping. Although she has the support of her wife Marisa, Fulvia admits that she is subjected to a lot of dirty looks and discrimination in her small town of Peveragno in northern Italy. When she was 15...
Huh? Who's to the K? Here, you're supposed to put some on your plate. Yeah, I think he was. I just said the bread, and he started looking at me. He came at me.
He's learning how to leave at night. He's not running around me and making me pulling me everywhere. He's ready this morning. How to be on a big rope and not kill his master. Well, you're not here, I am. Be careful now, won't you?
You're going to be up here. You're going to be up here.
Back and forth.
You're in the winter.
Depending on the weather. I have somebody watching the dog and I can't watch it. Just keep running those big bags of dog food. I'm starting a grocery list. So far I have bread and chips. What else needs to go on the list?
Garnish.
What kind?
The normal kind.
Double A or triple A?
Triplet. I mean double it.
AA?
Yeah.
What else?
And you need this only this kind of charger. This kind of charger.
Is that square or slanted or what's its shape? I haven't seen it. Did you try those?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, hey, call your mom and have her bring some tomorrow. Or text her.
Text her?
Yeah.
I'll just wait until tomorrow.
Later.
Yeah.
Fulvia knew that there was something different about her. Although she was forced to repress her nature because of her conservative family, she tried to overcompensate for her feminine feelings by exaggerating her masculinity in public, while wearing women's clothes in private. Despite the difficulties she faces to this day, she's determined to continue on with her plastic surgery. Edward Sprague. Most people who get plastic surgery do it to make themselves look like perfect human beings. However, for Edward Sprague, plastic surgery was a way to transform himself into another creature entirely, namely a lizard. 45-year-old Edward is a sideshow performer who has gone to extreme lengths to modify his body to look more like a lizard. He has full body tattoos of green scales, a forked tongue, sharpened teeth, and plastic implants placed under his skin. Even his lips have been tattooed green. He has 5 ridges implanted over each eye in order to make him look more lizard-like. Although his unusual appearance is a gimmick that doesn't fail to draw in crowds, he also has a lot of impressive feats that he's able to perform. These include fire-eating and breathing, sword swallowing, and laying on a bed of nails. Oh yeah, and he's actually in a rock band called Lizard Skynyrd's, awesomely enough. He is also in the Guinness Book of World Records for most weight lifted and swung from the earlobes. His sideshow skills are so renowned that there is even a life-size statue of him at many Ripley's Believe It or Not museums.
No.
My boy said he has to wash his hands too.
Okay.
Then your electronics won't get sticky. Brown said, wash your hands. Oh, great. Awesome. Super.
Oh, I jumped up right over the couch.
Gee, that's the best cantaloupe I had in a long time.
Yeah.
Super, super sweet.
Stalking Cat. His real name was Dennis Abner, but he was better known by his Native American name, Stalking Cat, or just the Cat Man. Like the Lizard Man, Stalking Cat used plastic surgery as a way to appear more like an animal. It's estimated that Stalking Cat had 14 surgical procedures, in addition to many other cosmetic additions. Besides the full face tattoos and fang dentures, steel implants for detachable whiskers were attached to his face. As you can see, fillers were injected into his face to give it a more feline appearance, and he has silicone implants in his cheeks and forehead. His ears were pointed and his lips were split during surgery. Stalking Cat is his Native American name and was given to him when he was a child. He claims that he began his feline transformation in order to feel closer to his totem animal. He wanted to turn himself not into just a tiger, but a female tiger, and ultimately blur the lines between the genders. Sadly, he passed away at his home at the age of 54. Nanette Hammond. So many people look up to Barbie, and not just as a beloved childhood toy, but as a fashion and beauty icon. Perhaps the most infamous and controversial Barbie girl is Ukrainian model Valeria Lukyanova. Her transformation into the human Barbie was shocking, and she looked like a photoshopped version of a person at one point. However, she claims that she's never had plastic surgery. Another girl known as the real-life anime girl is Anastasia Spagina, who uses makeup instead of surgery to look like a living doll. If their claims are true, mother of 5 Nanette Hammond could have saved herself $500,000 by learning some contouring. She's spent that much money on surgery to look more like Barbie. In addition to her spray tans, extensions, and dye jobs, she's also had 3 breast augmentations, and her face is chock full of fillers. Nanette has no plan to stop getting plastic surgery and actually plans to get more as she ages. She claims that her look is worth every penny and makes her feel happy and secure. Besides her look, she embraces everything pink and Barbie, even treating herself to a pink convertible just like the one Barbie drives. After watching this video, we bet you have a whole new appreciation for your natural beauty. We suppose aging gracefully isn't for everyone. Aqua once said, "Life in plastic, it's fantastic." And after all, if we can't trust Aqua, who can we trust? To see more extreme people, be sure you're subscribed to the
People get incarcerated all the time, but usually they're adults. It's not so shocking to hear about it then, because from our point of view, they got through the fun stages of their lives. But what about the kids who get incarcerated? You don't hear about what happens to them half as often, and we're left wondering if they managed to escape the system and how they've turned out. We put together a list of 10 young people who entered the system at a young age and spent their entire youth there. There isn't much to do inside, and we're pretty sure there isn't much internet access either. So before we start, make the most of your situation and click subscribe so you don't miss out on our other videos. Joe Ligon. This boy from Pennsylvania was only 15 when he committed himself to a life on the inside. A casual night out with friends ended up being spent inside the local police cells, but Joe Ligon probably didn't intend on spending the rest of his life inside 4 walls. In fact, Joe is Pennsylvania's longest-serving lifer and has currently spent more than 60 years staring out the window waiting for release. His main crime, which resulted in the loss of life for 2 men, saw him incarcerated at the age of 16, and he stayed there ever since. At such a young age, Joe only got the opportunity to learn how to be a man from those he caught chatting on the inside. Rather than having family support, he was forced to mature far faster than kids living normal lives. However, although Joe has been inside since he was a kid, he declined the opportunity to face retrial and immediately go on parole. When he went in, he obviously didn't know if he would come out, but he said that by now, he wouldn't want to get his hopes up. We can understand that because 60 years is an unimaginably long period of time, and if someone offered us the chance of release but didn't confirm it, we wouldn't want to get excited for nothing. Kevin Boyd. Whenever kids do something bad, the parents are often blamed. We tut and spend hours wondering what happened when they were younger. Were they brought up wrong, or was it innate? But this is not something we've spent much time considering for lifer Kevin Boyd, who accompanied his mother to commit a crime which left them both inside prison rules. The kid was only 16 at the time, and grew up without experiencing the outside world as a result. Rather than attending college, getting a girlfriend, or playing sports with his friends, he was confined to brick walls, an orange jumpsuit, and the company of some very strange characters. Even before he was incarcerated, Kevin had led a pretty sad life. He'd previously attended 10 different schools before dropping out at the age of 15. He received psychiatric help for a variety of mental health problems, most of which probably weren't helped by an unstable family life. He says that since he's been in prison, he's had a lot of time to think about his actions. He's currently writing an account of his childhood and hopes it will help him deal with his history. Every day he thinks about his father, and growing up inside four walls probably hasn't helped to serve as a distraction from his crime. John Pace. So, we've accepted that some kids grow up to commit crimes, but for others, the space between black and white is more than slightly blurred. Some young teenagers might go out one night intending to hurt someone, but others might just stumble into trouble. This is what happened to 14-year-old John Pace. He'd spent a casual night hanging out with friends and chilling before wandering home. Admittedly, he'd been drinking, and we all know this is illegal for a kid so young, but we also know he's not the first to do so. However, alcohol might have slightly clouded his judgment here. As he was walking back, John noticed a guy walking towards him. He didn't think for more than a few seconds when he decided to approach the guy and threatened him. He didn't have much cash on him, which angered John, who threw a punch. Soon, the police turned up and John was taken away. However, it didn't end here. The guy that John had punched passed away soon after that night, as a result of falling badly. John pleaded guilty, knowing that he would get a punishment, but didn't anticipate it being so heavy. This 14-year-old was taken out of school and placed in juvenile delinquency and was forced to spend the rest of his teenage years and many more after all in his new bedroom. Barney Lee. He had a huge interest in planes, which we guess is pretty helpful for 14-year-old Barney Lee because he could still look at them from prison. After all, they could limit his actions, but they couldn't stop him from staring at the sky. When he wasn't fixated with airplanes, Barney spent his time reading, playing with a model ship, or hanging out with friends. Not typically the makeup for a child who did what Barney did at such a young age. So how did young Barney end up growing up on the inside? Well, it turns out he wasn't a fan of chores, or being told off for not doing them. A few months earlier, he'd been staying with his uncle on a farm. Instead of doing the chores his uncle had requested, Barney had sat around playing ball instead. When his uncle told him off, he reacted badly. So badly, in fact, that the police got involved. His uncle didn't live much longer, and Barney ended up being carted off to the local prison. As a result, he was given a life sentence, and was officially the youngest person in his area to be given such a punishment. Now, he's spending his time at San Quentin, which is his new home for the foreseeable future. Jennifer Pruitt. We've seen in the past that law seems to relax a bit when it comes to incarcerating girls, but Jennifer Pruitt clearly committed a crime so bad that the judge thought she deserved to spend her teenage years behind cell doors. At the age of 16, she'd spent a pretty significant role in ending an elderly man's life. However, as brutal as this sounds, Jennifer wasn't entirely to blame. She'd grown up in an unstable family and ran away from home when she was younger. At 16, she ended up living with a neighbor who got a kick out of stealing from people. Desperate for some accommodation stability, Jennifer joined in. Unfortunately, the neighbor she was with decided to take things one step too far, but was later tried and found guilty for her role in the man's passing. She was put away without the chance of parole and has been there for years now. Unlike most teenage girls, she never got the chance to try out new makeup techniques or flirt with boys because she was stuck inside. However, a Supreme Court ruling that said it was unconstitutional for juveniles to be sentenced for crimes means that Jennifer might one day be released. Matthew Bentley. At only 5 feet and 4 inches tall, 14-year-old Matthew Bentley might not have looked half as dangerous as he actually was. His life of crime started fairly innocently. He wanted to steal a car. Like many young boys, he loved cars and wanted to try out driving for the first time. He was also looking for cash, and so it was his greed which led him to spending his life in jail. The house that Matthew decided to break into was owned by a guy who loved guns. This wasn't what Matthew was expecting, but he went with it. He picked a few up and also grabbed a can of Coke on the side. It was at this moment when a woman walked into the room and saw Matthew. In panic, he pulled the trigger and left her lying on the floor. Later, she passed away. Matthew has never disputed what he did, but at such a young age, it wasn't surprising to hear he showed a bit of emotion. Apparently, he apologized to the woman before he left and shed a few tears. We reckon he shed at least a few more, as he's grown up in prison over the years. Terrence Graham. He was already being watched by the police for committing a series of other crimes when 16-year-old Terrence Graham took his life of crime just one step too far. He took part in a series of robberies, and although people got hurt, nobody was seriously injured. You'd have thought that this would work in Terrence's favor, but he was still given a life sentence for his crime. This was rare, and the 16-year-old is the second person ever to be given a life sentence for committing a serious crime. But with nobody passing away as a result, many human rights activists have argued his case and said it's unethical and incredibly cruel to expect a 16-year-old to spend his life inside from such a young age. Now, we've already learned about a few young people who've spent their early years inside the system, but it doesn't get any easier hearing it again. Luckily, although he grew up inside, Terrence won't have to spend his life there. A landmark ruling changed his sentence from life to 25 years, which means he should hopefully see the outside world at some point. It's not 100% guaranteed, but it's looking like Terrence will be free from the system in 2029, when he'll be 42 years old. Sarah Cruzan. The only other female to take a place on our list, Sarah Cruzan was forced into a life of crime at only 11 years old, and only escaped when she decided to get her own back. She was 16 when she was incarcerated, and although it might have been a welcome break from her standard lifestyle, it still meant that Sarah grew up surrounded by the bottom layer of society. Rather than spending her young years bonding with friends or getting an education, Sarah spent them committing crimes and then inside the prison system. It's definitely not a life we'd wish upon anybody. Sarah, in one sense, was lucky because her sentence was reduced after it caught attention from the state. At first, after ending another man's life, she was given life inside with no chance of parole. After lawyers and activists got involved, her sentence was reduced to 25 years and then down to a further 15. By the time this had been agreed, though, she was already free. Her case was a very sad one, and we're happy she's outside now, but we can't help but remember the fact that she grew up alone and without any family support in prison. Donald Logan. The case of 16-year-old Donald Logan is a strange one because nobody has ever been sure as to whether he committed the crime or not. Sure, he acted as a lookout at the scene of the crime, but allegedly didn't actually partake in the action himself. Regardless, he was tried twice and convicted with life behind bars. Young Donald had been wandering the streets with a few older boys. People get incarcerated all the time, but usually they're adults. It's not so shocking to hear about it then, because from our point of view, they got through the fun stages of their lives. But what about the kids who get incarcerated? To prevent him from giving evidence, Donald pointed the guy out in the street, and some of the others in the group took charge and threatened the paperboy. It all went wrong, and Donald was found guilty for playing a role in ending the paperboy's life. So Donald was sent inside and grew up there. He managed to teach himself to read and write, and learned about religion. The psychologist who examined him said that although Donald was 17 by this point, he had the mental capacity of a 12-year-old. This is what makes the case even sadder. He was finally released in 2010 after 37 years locked up behind bars. Evan Miller. At only 14 years old, Evan Miller was tried as an adult and given life without parole. Now, you might think this is unfair considering his age, but what the 14-year-old did to receive this punishment might make you reconsider slightly. It's not unusual for kids to enjoy playing with fire, but Evan took it one step further and set a house alight. Unfortunately, there was someone inside who never got to see the outside world again. The worst part? Evan knew the guy was inside in the first place and set the mobile home alight regardless. When a lot of people realize they're going to spend the rest of their lives behind bars, they try and reform. Some take up a hobby, some learn to read, and others might start working out more frequently. But not Evan. He's shown no remorse for his crime, which hasn't helped his case when it comes to letting him out any earlier. Unlike many of the people who've made it to the list, Evan had a supportive family, although he was still brought up in foster care. His mother tearfully waved him off as he was taken away to spend his life behind bars, and we're not surprised, because no parent wants to watch their child grow up surrounded by thugs. So now you've learned all about some of the kids inside the system, and we bet this is going to make you think twice before doing anything outside of the law. It looks like a pretty scary place, especially with the likes of this guy. We hope you enjoyed this video today. Thanks!
Ever look through old photo albums and wonder who those cute kids grew up to be? As you'll see, while a picture can be worth 1,000 words, there are some things they can't reveal. Dictators, murderers, and terrorists, as these pictures demonstrate, even the cute kids can become absolute monsters. Any guesses as to who this rather stern and disciplined-looking child grew up to be? We'll give you a few hints. In the late 1920s, he became the most powerful figure of an emerging world power. His armed forces committed serious atrocities in World War II, and many historians consider him a war criminal as a result. He even encouraged his own citizens to commit suicide rather than surrender to the advancing enemy troops. If you guess this kid grew up to be Emperor Hirohito of Japan, then good for you.
I know only too well brings about behavior that is just terrible to describe.
This little guy doesn't really look that much different than any other kid, does he? Outside pretending to be a cowboy, years later this kid would be playing defendant because of his crimes. What did he do? He grew up to be one of the most infamous serial killers and rapists in American history. Before his execution in 1989, he confessed to 30 murders, but officials think the actual number is much higher. That's right, this little cowboy's name was Ted Bundy, a man later described as being the definition of evil.
He was fascinated. He was obsessed by the massacre of the entire DeFeo family, and he carried out his own bloody reenactment of it.
One of the lesser-known people here, this 13-year-old doesn't really look like the kind of kid that would cause trouble. Unfortunately, all those smiles for the camera were merely show. In August 2013, before he was to leave for school, he took a .40 caliber handgun and shot his mother, father, grandmother, and great-aunt. CCTV later caught him heading off to class as if nothing had happened. Later that day, he took his own life. The boy in question is Marcelo Passaggini, a Brazilian teen who had reportedly aspired to become a hitman.
Walk me through what you were going to do with the knife in your head to your mother.
Cut her throat?
When you look at this person's class photos, they don't really scream monster, but instead just look like your stereotypical shots from the 1950s or 60s. Friends and neighbors later reported that he was a little strange, but generally a nice guy. They always are. Imagine their surprise when they found out this guy was the most prolific serial killer in U.S. That's right, this is none other than Gary Ridgway, who is currently in jail for the murder of at least 49 women, although officials think it could be twice this number.
Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
Look at this little guy. Cute, shy, nothing evil about him. Fast forward a few years and we bet everyone's opinion changed quite quickly. Before he was even 13, he had been involved in various types of theft and burglary. In 1969, he and his followers committed 9 murders, including that of actress Sharon Tate, which he hoped would start a race war. Today, he is 81 years old and still serving out his life sentence. By now, you probably guessed this little boy is in fact Charles Manson.
If we took the blame, then we would get off on self-defense because we were juveniles.
You wouldn't know it from these pictures, but the 2 boys you see here would go on to be involved in a murder case that captured much of America's attention in the early 2000s. In 2001, the 12 and 13-year-old brothers walked into their dad's bedroom and killed him with a baseball bat while he was sleeping. Then, to cover up their crime, they burnt the house down. Sentenced to jail, they were released in 2009. If you guess they are Derek and Alex King, then you are right.
I did my best to protect the people, so you cannot feel guilty when you do your best.
Who's this little guy standing second from the left behind his father? He grew up in an extremely wealthy family, and when the time came, took over as leader of his country. While many thought he would be a great reformer, the boy in the picture turned out to be a hard-line dictator who dropped the hammer on those who opposed him. He has even been implicated in war crimes and crimes against humanity. The man in question is Bashar al-Assad, leader of Syria, a country devastated by years of civil war.
His eyes are very unpleasant. He has the look of a cornered predator.
This boy was known for being sociable, smart, and an avid chess player. Then, as a child, he is currently in jail for Ever look through old photo albums and wonder who those cute kids grew up to be?
What?
Ridgway, who is currently in jail.
Maybe
The Green River Killer preyed on prostitutes and runaways around Seattle.
These are killing fields for the serial killers. These are easy pickings.
The final tally of his murders will never be known.
We think that he killed somewhere between 70 and 80.
He was killing 4 or 5 a month.
And the police couldn't arrest him for 20 years.
He had his killing career, and he had the rest of his life, where he was a father, and he was a husband, and he was an employee.
Eventually, a forensic lab was able to give the Green a name.
I said, Tom, are you trying to tell me we know who it is?
Gary Leon Ridgway is charged.
Serial killer Gary Ridgway was certainly a deranged killer. The Green River runs south of the city of Seattle. People go to the river to fish, to work, to play.
let's play a game. Let's play Minecraft.
One man went there to dump the bodies of women he had killed.
Play it. I'll play it.
It was the summer of 1982 when the river released its first victims.
Everybody was terrified. You know, I mean, these were places where we picnicked, where we swam, where children ran free.
Come on. That's not it. That's not the right one. It has blue. No, it changes colors, bro. I'll sub in though. Got it. It's cold. I'm cold. You cold? I'm cold. No. Well, let's make it. Oh, no. Well, so we're gonna play Minecraft? Turn it down, turn it down, Bob, I say. Okay then. No, go down. We're gonna play Halo now. We're gonna verse each other, okay? I'm getting boring. Press and play. Halo 4. I'm Halo 3. High ground. Halo 3. Halo 3. Fine. Fine. What? Excuse me? I'm older than you, boy. Okay. So you ain't none? Huh? You ain't none, Joel? I'm older than you. High ground. High ground. You didn't pick high ground, bro. What do you want to do the one that lets us find this stuff or not? Fine. Do it then. I'm taking this game back.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. Yeah, 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 in my bank account. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shooters ready to gun you down. Yeah, 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 dog. Yeah, not for real, dog. 21, ready about it. I went from filthy to filthy rich. Many emotions shit, so I could never trust a bitch. I tried to help niggas get on, they turned around and spit right in my face, so gave me woke and suck a dick. Now when you hear him, it may sound like it's some other shit, cause I'm not writing anymore, they not making hits. I'm far from perfect, there's so many lessons I to learn. If money's evil, look at all the evil I done earned. I'm doing what I'm supposed to, I'm a writer, I'm a fighter, entrepreneur, fresh out the sewer, watch me maneuver. What's it to you? The track I lace it, it's better than basic. This is my recovery, my comeback kid. My life makes me wanna run away. There's no place to go, no place to go. All the confusion, it's an illusion, like a movie. Got nowhere to go, nowhere to run and hide, no matter how hard I try. While you were sipping your own Kool-Aid, getting your buzz heavy, I was in the fucking shed, sharpening my machete, sipping on some of that revenge juice, getting my taste buds ready to whoop down this spaghetti. Or should I say this spaghetti? Even think you fucking meatballs, keep on this spaghetti. Party was finished, motherfucker, it's only the beginning. He's bugging again, he's straight thugging. Fuck who he's offending. Here if your vocal cords out and have the bitches plugged in the motherfucking wall with 3,000 volts of electricity. Now take the other and jump them and plug them motherfuckers in each one of your ice sockets, cause I thought you might finally fucking see. That'll teach you to go voice in your cocks, looking up in your enemy. I done put my blood, my sweat, and my tears in this shit. Swamp cutting up, you're gonna end up regretting you ever better dog against me. Feels like I'm a snap any minute, yeah, it's happening again. And I'm thinking about the same motherfucker, everybody that's up in this bitch 150. Cause this is all I know, this is why so hard I go. But I gotta put my heart and soul in this more than anybody knows. I'm trapped, so all I do is rap. And every time I rap, I'm more trapped. And I wrap myself right into this bubble. Oh, guess it's bubble rap. It's like a vicious cycle, my life is in a crisis. Christ, how was I supposed to know shit would turn out like it did? Feels like I'm going psycho again, and I might just blow my lid. Shit, I almost wished that I would've never made recovery, kid. Cause I'm running in circles with my life makes me wanna run away. There's no place to go, no place to go. All the confusion, it's an illusion, like a movie. Got nowhere to go, nowhere to run and hide, no matter how hard I try. I haven't been this fucking confused since I was a kid. So like 40 million records, people forgot what I did. Maybe this is for me, maybe I'm supposed to go crazy. Maybe I'll do it 3 a.m. in the morning like Shady. Psycho killer Michael Myers, I'm on fire, light a liar. Trying to say this ain't classic, get your ass kicked, mad cook, wrap your head up in plastic. Pussy now in a gasket, dirt nap with the maggots. It's tragic, it's sad, it's never gonna end. I'll be number one again with that frown on your face and your heart full of hate. Accept it, respect it, it's a gift God given, like the air and the lungs, ain't fucking thing living. My life makes me wanna run away. There's no place to go, no place to go. All the confusion, it's an illusion, like a movie. Got nowhere to go, nowhere to run and hide, no matter how hard I try.
Oh, yeah.
You want to make it your own. You want to make it very unique to your style. Which color am I going to wear today? What am I going to do today? I can go out on the cruise I can catch ground balls in the cruise. I can do my BP. That's how comfortable, that's how stylish they look, and that's how good they are. I'll be wearing the cruise all summer on and off the field.
I will never do.
I'm about to lose my mind. You've been gone for so long. I'm running out of time. I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to bring me back to life.
Yup. Hey, yo, good morning, little gang. What's poppin'? I got the fur on. I got the Maverick on. Let's go. As usual, it's gonna be a good day. Actually, I have something really special planned. You guys know my roommate, Evan. He's a dwarf or a little person. He just moved out to LA. Like, I brought him out here, and I was like, why not get him a girl? So, we're gonna wake him up because I think he's still sleeping with the classic Maverick merch cannon. Why is he just staring at the wall? Oh, what the fuck, man? Oh, yo, what? How did that even happen? Man, with the classiest merch in the game, LoganPaul.com/shop. Good morning, Evan, my boy. Yup. How you doing, bro? I'm doing pretty good. Good. It's your big day, bro.
What?
Why? I got something big for you, bro. Don't be messing with me. I'm not messing with you, bro. It's big, bro. Big! Okay, Evan, it's your big day. Walk forward, buddy. I want to show you the to-do list. Here we go, bro. That was lame, but yo, number 2. You give me a date? I gave you a date. Bro. I don't know what happened, bro.
Ow!
my God. Before I elaborate, bro, you know what this situation needs? 1, 2, 3. Come on. That was a pretty cool break, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Okay, a little replay action. Now that I don't have an assistant because Ayla quit, I have to do the adulting myself. Let me tell you something. This sucks. Like, this full-heartedly, full-fledged, full savage, it's like, I'm pretty excited for this, dude.
Dude, I'm more excited than you are.
Like, guys, Evan needs a girl, straight up, bro.
I do. You got Clogan, you got Layla. I don't have anything.
Evan doesn't.
I don't have a hashtag.
You need to get Evan a hashtag. I took the liberty into my own hands and worked my ass off to find the perfect girl for you, Evan.
Aw.
What's that noise? Hey! I'm vlogging! Shut the fuck up! Shut the front door! Shut up! This is bad. He's just gonna try to ignore it. She is a dwarf, but she's like the dwarf, bro. Like, she's hot, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, she's one of the hottest. I literally looked up like world's top 10 hottest dwarves, and she was on the list.
I didn't know that was a thing, but that's pretty dope.
Me either, bro. But it is dope for sure. So she's gonna come over. I figured you guys go on a date, put a microphone on you, put a microphone on her, be totally invasive and intrusive of your privacy, and get a good vlog. I'm such a douchebag.
Off the vlog, this is gonna be so awkward.
I think that's on the vlog.
Oh, fuck.
Evan, I'm sure. I know you feel weird. It'll be a good time, but what the fuck? Oh, they're not stopping. Yo, hey, I've got some for you, boy. This is very difficult. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh. Why do we have to do that cutaway? Rest in peace, Jake's Disney contract.
But he still got his Disney contract.
How can we get them to hear us? They launch it at the ceiling?
I guess so. If it hits the ceiling hard enough, I'm sure they'll hear it.
Yeah, they're here, right? Woo! They're not stopping? What are they even making, bro? I shot merch at them. Ah! All right, Evan. How was the last time you've been on a real date?
Like high school.
Me personally, I went on a date last week, so I'm kind of the master. I know what you're thinking. Yes, I did smash her. So here's what you gotta know about dates, bro. There's a simple rule, and if you follow it, bro, you end zone. Touchdown. 10 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about the 3C. Wrote them on this hand first with the marker, and I realized I messed up because it's extreme, fade resistant, and confirmed this shit ain't coming off. So then I had Brendan redo it with a pen on this hand. Okay, C number 1, Evan. Compliment, bro. Compliment the girl. Tell her she smells nice, or you like her face or something.
Wow, I really like your shirt.
Thanks. Low gang for life. Ah, man, I just want to f***ing kiss you.
Ow! Dick.
Oh, sorry. Evan's got an ear infection. I'm so sorry. I forgot, bro. C number 2, cuddle. So first you compliment her, and then you cuddle her.
I really like your shirt.
Thanks. Low gang for life. Oh, wow.
No, I really like your shirt.
Oh, wow. Now that you've done the first 2 C's, they got 1 C to go. Kiss. You kiss her.
That starts with a K.
That's my bad.
You f***ed up, Brendan. You make me look dumb on my vlogs. You gotta kiss her, bro. Otherwise, so she knows you're trying to marry her, bro. So practice on me. Okay, cool. We'll save that for the actual date. That said, I think she's almost here, so my boy, get ready. Yeah. Evan, you got this, bro. You got this, bro. I'm so excited.
Hey!
Hello.
What's up?
How are you?
Good.
I'm Evan.
I'm Asta.
Yeah! Hi!
Hey!
Logan, nice to meet you.
What up?
This is Asta. She's young.
Yeah, Asta Young.
That's her last name.
So funny. Here, take this. Yo! What the fuck? Anyways. No, this is not me anymore, bro. Like,
Alright. So I know this pretty nice restaurant down the street.
Okay.
Would you like to go down there?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, let's go.
There we go.
It's working, bro. It's showtime.
So where are you from?
I was born in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong?
Yeah, so I came out to the States probably like 6-7 years ago.
How'd you meet Logan.
He actually hit me up in my DMs, was like, hey, you want to hang out? And I was like, sure, okay.
Typical Logan.
You guys need a ride? Up in the Yeti! This is the best first date ever! Hi! So I don't know how it's going for them, but for me, like, I'm having so much fun right now. Oh, also, there's no microphone here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Could you hear all that?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
can't hear shit, remember? I had this ear infection in my left ear. And,
That's a dwarf thing.
It is a dwarf thing. And then Logan here decided to hit me in the ear this morning.
Hold on, I didn't hit you. I grabbed you in an attempt to kiss you.
Like, that sounds even better.
Sure.
Hey, hi, how are ya? How about out? There you go. Yeah. I'm gonna hang back. You guys go do your thing, man, for sure.
Right.
Oh, for sure. I will see you guys later.
Yeah, not many people know about this place.
Yeah, where are we going?
It's a nice restaurant. It's called Shack.
Okay, so I took the fur off to stay undercover. I just saw the lovebirds walk into Shake Shack. Interesting choice, Evan, urban, I like it. I'm gonna try to stay discreet. It's gonna be tough because my long blonde chotch hair. Are you good, bro? Are you gonna tag me at least? Did you post it? At Logan Paul on Instagram? They're in there right now. I think it's super important that Evan doesn't forget the 3 C's. Remember, guys, #1 is compliments, so I hope he's just dishing out compliments.
I really like your shirt.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I like your shirt too.
It looks really good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're really welcome.
I gotta say, I've never done this before, but this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah! I'm like the annoying, obnoxious vlogger version of Cupid. Just making people fall in love. Let's go!
Let me get you a cup of water.
Do you need help? Here. I have longer arms.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
I think out here would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay, they found a seat. I know I'm probably not hiding from them, but fuck it. Brendan and I are posted up behind a bush right now. Also, let me just point out, it looks like Brendan has a bomb on his back. It's not a bomb, it's just microphones, I promise. Okay, I think it's time for #2, the second seat. Go for the cuddle, Evan.
Yeah. So, pretty good. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it didn't work.
Yeah. You can start eating.
So, about these burgers.
We're gonna kick your ass. Yeah, these are pretty good. What do you do for a living?
I'm an artist. I paint, and I like to paint paintings, and then so I do make a living out of that.
Oh my gosh, she's Pablo Picasso, bro.
Yeah, what kind of paintings do you do?
I usually do just like pop culture stuff, like dogs. I have pugs, so I paint a lot of pugs.
She's so much cooler than him.
Maybe you can paint a picture of me one day.
Hey, I mean, I'm down if you want me to.
Paint a picture of Evan like the Titanic.
I want you to draw me like one of your French girls.
How long have you been a dwarf?
I think I woke up today and I realized I was a dwarf.
Same thing happened to me last week.
Exactly.
Isn't
it's
it
like
bizarre?
you don't even realize you're a dwarf, and then one day you're just like, I'm a dwarf.
Right?
What
Like,
the
I'm
fuck?
making this food, and like, I need to get the plate.
I'm a dwarf.
God damn it, I can't reach the plate. Oh, classic. I'm glad we can relate on a level.
Right. On a short level.
Yeah, on a short level.
Yo, I thought this would be super awkward. Oh, it's not. They're hitting it off, man. God damn, fucking Cupid, bro.
So, are you not gonna eat your food?
I'm not really hungry, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not really either. You just wanna go somewhere else?
I'm down.
All right, let's go.
So Evan took her to this cute little spot right here. We're sneaking up on them. I'm not quite sure how obvious it is that we're right behind them. I'm gonna go ahead and park right now. This is big, yo. This is like the final moments of the date.
Yeah, so I brought you to this like pretty nice place, you know?
Yeah.
Got a painted horse behind us. Got a fountain. Also got this bush.
Why are they just listing things that they see?
You know, skies.
The sky? Did he just say the sky?
Yeah, so it's a pretty nice place. Pretty unique. Not many people know about it. But, you know, kind of like romantic a little.
3 C's. 3 C's. Go, kiss.
Kiss.
Go for it. Go for a kiss. Go for the kiss. Go for the kiss.
What are you doing?
What do you mean what I'm doing? No. I'm giving you a kiss. Like, I thought we had a nice day today. Like, we went out to eat.
Yeah, we went out to eat.
We connected. Talked about dwarfism and dwarf problems. Like, I thought it was perfect.
I have a husband. I'm like, what are you doing?
She's got a husband. Oh, what the fuck?
I told Logan this.
Wait.
No, she did not tell me.
So you thought we were just hanging out as friends?
Yeah, this whole time I was like, all right, we're grabbing a bite to eat.
Not as a date.
No, I told Logan I have a husband, and I'm like, all right, we're all just gonna go hang out.
Logan, I'm gonna kick your ass.
We gotta go. Oh, no. All right, we're leaving.
Well, I'm really sorry for the confusion. Yeah, we can go now.
Oh, no. Hey, dude. Stop. She's still there. I didn't know. She did not tell me that. And if she did, she probably did. I didn't get that information. I know. I'm sorry.
Can I at least get a ride back?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Carl. Hi.
Why'd you leave?
Thanks for coming, Asta.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, things happen. I guess.
Some things happen. Before you go, I got something for you.
Yeah.
Some Maverick Woman's merch. Because you're a Maverick.
Hey.
There you go.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. We'll see you later, I guess.
Yeah. I mean.
Alright, see ya.
Bye.
Bye. What the f***, dude? Stop. What the f***? Stop. Hold on. You know how f***ing awkward that was? Sorry. Right now. I know, I'm sorry. Bro, I got good news. What? Number 2 is crossed off, bro. Yo. Not only did you make it awkward, you gave her merch. I don't even have merch. LoganPaul.com/shop. Oh.
I don't even get a hashtag.
What? Oh, no. Evan, I will get you a date. Evan. He's right there. Still. Okay, Logang, that is the vlog. I feel bad, really bad, that I let my boy down. You damn right you did. He's right there. I know. Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't do my research, but here's what I do know. The Logang is the strongest family on YouTube and the fastest growing. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the button, get your Logang and Maverick merch. The link is in the description or LoganPaul.com/shop. I will redeem myself for Evan. I promise. Jay, I got a surprise for you today. I got a surprise to break my heart. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, Logang, that is the vlog. Don't forget to work hard, push yourself, be a maverick, be unique, be different. I love y'all, and I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy, fam.
Wait, I'm live? What? I was live this whole entire time?